We need a little bit of a break here from the dreaded news. We need a bit of optimism, and that is coming in spades from the Matildas. We saw them up in that friendly, and this is ahead of their first official match in the World Cup on Thursday. Already, we are expecting a sellout crowd. It's my pleasure to tell you now, the first Matildas captain, Julie Dolan, joins us here in the newsroom. Julie, so great to see you. What about this? The biggest Women's World Cup on home soil, and they're going to win it.
They're going to win it, and that's what everybody's hoping. And look, we've got runs on the board. We've been playing all the top 5 teams in the world recently, and we do. We have runs on the board against them. We've got a win against England. We've had wins against the USA, and just recently, last week, we beat France. So, I mean, mentally, that's going to be a great boost for the girls.
It certainly will be, and Sam Kerr's looking red hot, as she always does.
Yes.
But the thing about Sam Kerr and her leadership is that she just brings a team together. There has been, you know, it feels to me like the Matildas, they speak up when they need to. They've spoken about pay parity,
yes,
but then they just get on with things.
I think, and that's very important. You know, it's nobody wants to hear somebody banging on about the same thing all the time. So, yeah, state your case, move forward. There's a World Cup coming up, so they've got to be concentrating on that first game.
Yeah, right. So what's your interaction with the team? Is there any?
No, there's not a great, as you can imagine now, they're in full lockdown.
Yeah.
And they would be concentrating on that first lot of games. So it's very hard to get access to the Matildas right now, but that's a good thing.
Yeah,
they need to focus.
Julie, as the first captain of the Matildas, what's your advice to them now on Thursday and ahead of the World Cup starting?
Look, my message to them is believe in yourselves, believe in your teammates, and believe in the preparation you have, and most of all, just dare to dream. Yeah. Like, dare to dream.
Well, you have certainly paved the way. How's the game changed since you were a captain? Obviously, vastly, but could you ever think that there would be this level of professionalism in the women's teams in the Women's World Cup and Australia hosting it?
I know, and as pioneering players, most of us probably dreamed of a World Cup at some point.
Yeah.
But did we imagine an event on this scale? No. Did we imagine that it would be an event so big we'd close the Harbour Bridge to celebrate with the fans? and did we imagine that it would be bigger than the Sydney Olympics? No. I don't think so. So that's why I say to these girls, dare to dream, because anything can happen.
Yeah, and you obviously dreamt about this, but it didn't happen when you were playing.
No, we were very fortunate. We played in the Pilot World Cup in 1988.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Where was that?
That was in China. And we had a win against Brazil, which was, you know,
wow.
Yeah.
You still remember that?
Oh, well, absolutely. And if you ever get a chance to see the goal that was scored by Janine Reddington to win that match, you ought to see it. It just gives you an idea of the calibre of players back then. Not taking anything away from the current Matildas, of course.
I've got to ask you about the Commonwealth Games being scrapped in Victoria. Obviously, this is a massive sporting event. We've heard the reasons from Daniel Andrews. What do you think about this decision? Does it hurt us reputationally in Australia?
We're in the middle of big sporting event fever.
Yeah.
So this was a bombshell this morning, a real bombshell. And it's probably made everyone sit up and really think. But, you know, I've just seen the presser that he's done. And can you argue that our hospitals aren't struggling? Can you argue that our aged care system isn't struggling? Can you argue that we're not in the middle of a cost of living crisis? So can you fault his stance? I don't know about that. You know, there's probably better heads than me that can give you a good comment, but for my money, yes, it might be disruptive to athletes, but the Commonwealth Games will still go ahead.
Just not in Victoria?
Just not in Victoria.
Finally, before I let you go, Julie, because I reckon you need to kind of prepare your nerves ahead of Thursday.
I'm a bit jittery.
Yeah,
I really am.
What, in terms of the actual game itself, what are the girls facing? What are their biggest challenges in the teams and the players?
Look, their biggest rivals are the team they face in the next game. So first up, Republic of Ireland. Second, Nigeria. Wow. And then Canada. Wow. You know, so they need to be 100% focused on every single game. And if there's a setback, you know, just go again, which we've seen them do before. So, yeah, I'm feeling quietly confident.
I don't want to jinx them, but so do I.
Oh, good.
Julie, a pleasure to talk to you this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thanks very much.